Hello my scrappy friends, welcome to my YouTube channel today. It's Melinda Sweetman here with you, and I'm going to jump straight into it. This is the design that I created in Photoshop Elements. Here are all my bits and my photo printed. I am playing along with the Oldies But Goodies Renewal collection for Tracy Reed Designs, and here is my finished layout. When I started this page, when I was pulling the supplies into Photoshop Elements, I decided to focus on the grey and the yellow. It's one of my all-time favourite colour combos. I really love grey and yellow together. As I was designing though, I quickly realised that I needed a bit of a pop of a third colour. So I did pull in the really the bright dark blue that's in this collection, which is just beautiful. And I love how this page came together. I knew I wanted to do something that was that had a mixed media background, so I have printed my two 12 by 12 papers. I have gutted at the center of the grey one, and now I'm just matching the grey ink that I want to use. I didn't want anything that was going to be super wet, so I'm using my Distress Oxides and a brayer. I'm starting with Hickory Smoke Distress Oxide, and I'm just inking that up, and I'm just going to run that onto my page. Nice, easy. Because it is like not wet at all, as soon as it hits the paper it pretty much dries, which is awesome. So you can see I'm just going up and down with my brayer and just adding colour to the background here. I knew I was going to be working pretty much on a central design, which was super fun. But the thing that I love about creating in Photoshop is you can put things in place, and if you don't like it, you can move it. If you haven't stuck anything down, you can resize things. You can recolor things should you feel the desire to. I haven't. I don't. Like I said, I was focusing on the colors in this collection, which is how I came up with the design that I came up with. And I've said this before, you can print your favourite thing from your favourite collection 1,100 million times and still keep going. So that's exactly what I've done here. I've pulled in the bits that I wanted to use, I've resized them, so my photo is 3x4. I've got a 3x4 journaling card sitting next to the photo, and the blue pattern paper behind those two is actually a 6x4 pattern card, but I have printed it a little bit bigger than 6x4 so that all of my bits can fit onto it without having to trim them down. So it's one of the good things about using digital supplies and creating in, for me it's Photoshop Elements. I know Photoshop Elements fairly well. It works for me. Or whatever program that you might have access to that you can create digital-ish layouts on, to get an idea of what you want to print so that you can cut, so that you can create these beautiful hybrid layouts. So while I've been blabbing on about that, I have also done some stamping. I used archival ink in cobalt blue with a text stamp. So you can kind of see I'm working in kind of 3-4 kind of clusters with my stamping. It is going to kind of merge into just 3 in just a second here. But top right, middle left, middle bottom kind of. The second colour that I used was Watering Can, I think, which is the dark grey, and now this is the black archival ink. And I've just used some different texture stamps to add some interest to my background. Now I thought this was grey acrylic paint. It turns out it is silver, but I don't hate it. So it is way lighter than what I wanted, so I have grabbed my black gouache here, and I'm just going to add a tiny smidge of that to this silver to get a darker grey. You can see I'm just adding tiny bits at a time until I'm happy with the colour I've got. Add a bit more water because it wasn't fluid enough, and then I'm going to do some splatters on my background. I am also going to grab a smaller paintbrush and add in some black splatters with the leftovers of my black gouache on the little mat there. If anyone's curious, that is the Tim Holtz sticky mat. I don't know that that's the official name, but I've cut this one to this size, and it works beautifully and I love it. I use it a lot for this kind of thing, but also like if I'm assembling die cuts for card making. It's a really great way of keeping my die cuts still and adding glue. Total side quest there, my apologies, but I figured the more hints and tips, the better. So I've added all of that mixed media. I did use a paper towel and my heat gun just to dry those splatters off. I was feeling impatient and just wanted to continue creating. I'm using some Nouveau adhesive to glue everything down. You didn't see me do it on the background there, but I am using the watering can archival ink. I left this bit in for you, and I'm inking up the edges of all of my printed pieces. I just feel like it just adds to that mixed media and it just kind of finishes everything off. So I've got all my bits here. I've just finished inking them all up, and I'm going to start building my layers. So most of this I put together without looking at the image that I'd saved. I was really impressed with myself. I got to a particular point and then went, oh, hang on, I'm missing something here. And that is when you'll see me put the washi strip on the bottom right, and I'm like, where's my second washi strip? I searched everywhere for it. I ended up finding it in my recycling bin, which thankfully I hadn't emptied. So I was able to put that in place, which made me happy. So yes, you will see that in just a minute, but I'm just adding a little bit of curling to my papers and stuff, just for a little bit of extra interest, dimension, texture. And here we go, layering up all my pieces. I do cut things down in the background because they start to overlap and move other things and start to annoy me, and yeah. So I've got a couple of labels here. I've got, I think I'm using the Makes Me Smile as my title, because why not? Now, if you've been following me a while, you probably know that I do not love speech bubbles, but I figured with this particular speech bubble, I could just use the title on it, which says current fave, and at the time this was a current fave, so I'm like, that works perfectly. So I got to this point, I'm like, I know I didn't have white on white here, this isn't right. So I found my washi strip, but I'm like, this also doesn't feel right, it doesn't feel big enough. So I went on the hunt and I found the correct piece, swapped them around, and you're going to see a quick shot again of this is my digital template, for lack of a better word. I'm pretty happy with how that came together. Here is all of my paper bits all stuck together with some, I'm just adding some foam adhesive to the back of those now, and I'm going to get that all stuck down. So when I do design in Photoshop Elements, I tend to print and cut through my Silhouette software. If you use the print and cut feature, make sure that when you're sending it through the Silhouette, you're making the print border lines as small as you can. If you want, I can do a tutorial for you, but just drop me a comment and I will add it to my list. I'm actually going to start a list, I've decided. So if you do want to see anything, please let me know. But that way it leaves enough of that print border in Silhouette Studio for it to print and add the registration marks, which is the really important thing for it to cut. So my Cameo did cut all of these pieces, even though it did have a slight heart attack. I think I have a faulty blade. Actually, if anyone out there has had a faulty Silhouette auto blade, let me know in the comments. Let me know what you did, how you got it sorted, because it's really starting to drive me absolutely crazy. But you can see I got there in the end, everything cut, and it's not driving me so crazy that I've thrown it out the window yet, so that's a good thing. Alright, so I did print a few extra bits and pieces. I just went through the collection and pulled out some of the favourite things that I thought I might include. I did print a bunch of florals that I don't end up using, but that's okay. So I've added those extra hearts, and you can see there that blue. Besides the photo mat, I've got it in 3 places on my layout. So the top left of the photo cluster, the middle just off to the left down the bottom, and then the right hand side with that tag. And I really like the way that that kind of draws your eye around the important things on the page. I decided to add some grey and white twine to my tags. I've added in longish pieces. The two bigger tags, I'm going to curl the ends and staple them in place, and then the two smaller tags, I'm just going to chop them off. I do chop them the two different lengths at, like I do one at a time, so they're not left exactly the same length. There's something about that I just don't like it. It's way too precise and perfect for me. I'm going to add my journaling here, which is not much. Just a little bit of background. This photo was taken in December 2021. It was my eldest's last day at primary school, and for my youngest first few years at primary school, my eldest was going to a different school. So having them at the same school for 3 years was pretty special for me. So I was kind of a bit sad, but also kind of it's really nice when they get along and when they enjoy hanging out with each other. And yeah, so that's why I've got my heart is full. This makes me happy. They did get some time together at primary school, and I'm hoping that they get some time together at high school when the time comes, which is not that far away. Get ready for an emotional silky mum over the next 12 months. My youngest is finishing primary school this year, and I'm not quite ready. Don't know that you ever are ready if you're the kind of person like me, but that's okay. My boys laugh at me, I laugh at me. It's all in, it's all said and done with love, so that's the important thing. I've rambled a bit during this voiceover, so apologies if you hate it. If you love it, let me know, and I can do some more rambling voiceovers for you. Otherwise, I will try to shut it next time. Finishing touch, I felt like everything was a bit kind of floating, so I grabbed my same grey pen that I did my journaling with, did a doodly border around the yellow and white pattern paper, and I end up going around twice. The trick with doing this so it looks messy and not like, oh my god, did a 3-year-old did it, is to hold your pen fairly loosely and just draw without too much thought. Adding in some little scribbles to the top left and bottom right, and that is my page done. Make sure you head over to the Tracy Reed Designs store to grab this collection while it is on special. What do you reckon? I love how this page came together. I'm really impressed that I stuck so closely to what I designed in Photoshop Elements. If you have any questions at all about anything at all, please drop them below. As always, thank you so much for choosing to spend your scrappy time with me. I truly do appreciate it. I hope you're enjoying all this content this week, and I shall see you in my next process video. Have a fantastic scrappy day, my friends.